Welcome back to Creepcast. Today we're going to be reading some stuff from Tales from the Creep. Tales from the Creep. Baby. Tales from the Creep. You're new to the channel. If you're unaware, it is a subreddit where our fans go to post stories outside of r/no sleep. So if you're interested in writing a story, then maybe go there. People like to read stories and stuff. It's a nice little community is all I gotta say. All right. Okay. All right. You got it. And the first story we're starting with is I got hired at a modeling agency and things got weird. You ever model? Did you ever do any child modeling?
No. Did you do child modeling?
I did. For a local business, for a local jean business.
Is this real? It
is real. I wore little jeans and I had a little apple in my hand, and it was a little thing for a back to school thing. It was they chose 2 kids from my school and I was one of them.
Are those pictures out there somewhere?
God, I hope not. Because I look too hunkin' cute.
Someone can find it. I get that's a bounty.
If someone finds that, I'm gonna have to have a fucking word with them to be like, stop, get away from me, stop following me, is what I would say.
Oh, someone's gonna find that, please. No, I never did any modeling. As far as I know, I feel like there was a couple instances where I was a kid. Like I think one time the local news was doing a story at some near Appalachia and all. There was a reenactment of like Revolutionary War stuff. And I went to that. And I remember the local news was walking around and they were like, "Hey kid, what do you think of this?" And I'm like, "It's really cool." And they just were like, "Thanks." And that was it. Probably never made it to air. I do. Oh,
your voice sounded so gross right there.
It's really cool.
Like, okay, cool. I'm getting away from this duck child, this duck boy.
There was one time. So when I was a kid, I went to the Cincinnati Children's Museum, which is like a big museum where you can like play with blocks and like watch bees through glass and stuff like or whatever. And they were doing a commercial for it while I was there. And they were like, "Hey, they went to my parents and was like, can your son be in the commercial?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I want to," or whatever. And I remember the camera came near me while I was at this table where it was like these big Jenga blocks that were supposed to teach you like, I don't know, structural integrity or whatever. And I remember I thought I was going to look real cool when they brought the camera over to me. So I tried to build like this really elaborate like tower. At the moment the camera swings over to me, the entire thing collapses like on cue. And I was just like holding the pieces and I got embarrassed and I just turned around and put my back to the camera. And then I remember the commercial came out and I was like, "Oh, I want to see it. So my mom found the commercial and pulled it up and they cut even the footage I was in the background of. Like
they were that upset. Well, can you blame them? Can you blame them? You're a bad child. You were a bad kid.
That was my brush with modeling. I feel like though I've made up for public appearances now as an adult, but as a child, I'm like, I'm never gonna make it. So, but here we are. So who's laughing now? Cincinnati Children's Museum.
Yeah, still holding that against them. This is, by the way, is written by Grunge Sea Bunny. And I'm very looking forward to it. And I want to say that there's a top of the, and I want to say this now because it is at the top. There is a content warning. It says brief, very brief use of homophobic language, references to fetish content, implied animal harm, not graphic.
As long as you have to say the homophobic stuff, that's all that matters.
I will say the homophobic stuff. I will fall on that shield.
My favorite comment on the video we did about the gay dads camping is there's the part where you found out the dads were gay and you went, "Oh, okay, 2 gay dads, got it." And someone commented and said Hunter was being homophobic, not in the sense he didn't like gay people, but that he was actually afraid of them.
You know what? It was just my media literacy. I didn't know. So then whenever I registered my brain, I did, "Oh, okay, got it." And I want to say that people's response to that episode, I thought that story ruled. Really
I thought it was
like
cool.
that story. Yeah.
I thought it was a fun little monster story.
Now,
Yeah.
granted,
Did people not like it?
Well, people, I don't think they enjoyed the fish wrap. But you know what? It went there. It went there.
What are we, a bunch of Protestants now? What's the problem?
I guess we
We
should
suddenly
start
have standards now.
Yeah. Start burning witches at the stakes and stuff. Bunch of goddamn Puritans. Sure. Yeah. We can't delve into fish wrap every once in a while. Then what's the point of the show, Isaiah?
I guess we got an audience of pilgrims here. We got to take care of. So.
Gotta watch out.
But checking out Grunge Sea Bunny, they've posted on No Sleep before, but now they're posting in Tales from the Creeps and talking to other writers about their stories and stuff like that. And that's really cool to see. And
this is tagged.
Hunter,
this is tagged with looking for feedback, so we will be giving
we
feedback.
will be brutally honest. We'll be so mean.
Also, we are on Spotify. Took me a second to realize what I was going to say. We're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, anywhere that you can listen to a podcast, we're there. So if you don't want to watch this on YouTube, maybe like audio platforms, consider checking us out there and giving us a nice little rating. It does help us out. And also, we just released the video. Jim and I Home Entertainment did a Creep TV episode in a long time. And we had to do a bunch of different edits and stuff. So on Patreon, though, it went up 2 days earlier. So if you want to get content early or get extra content, consider checking out our Patreon if you want a little extra on the side. If not, it's all good. But hey, it's there, and baby, it's waiting for you. So, Isaiah, are you ready?
I am ready. So our first story, I got hired at a modeling agency and things got weird. It was the start of the fall semester and I was already unraveling. A combination of admin being on my ass and my illiterate students caused icy bitterness to replace the blood in my veins. My wife, Rin, saw the stress slowly replacing my skin and suggested we take a day to go to the beach. Of course, I protested. I still had 30 worksheets to grade. She refused to take no for an answer. Before I knew it, we were at the beach in matching sage green bikinis. Sat on my tattered beach chair while Rin tanned on a towel next to me.
Close your laptop. It'll overheat. I have to answer these emails.
I replied as my fingers danced across my keyboard. I hit send and immediately opened my next unread message.
Dear Mrs. Mendez, after catching my daughter reading in an inappropriate book, I investigated the complete list of books you assigned your students, and I am appalled at the blasphemous and borderline pornographic books you've been suggested to your students. I will be contacting the administration about this to ensure you suffer the fullest consequences. Sincerely, a total fucking bitch. Just kidding, it's Emma's mother.
Also known as.
Yeah, aka Emma's mother.
AKA. I closed my laptop with a deep sigh.
That bad?
Rin asked as she sat up and took off her tortoiseshell sunglasses.
It's actually my fault for thinking The Picture of Dorian Gray was a suitable book for 17-year-olds. I thought Californians loved. Huh?
The Picture of Dorian Gray. Why does anyone have a problem with that? It's
Why does anyone have a problem with anything?
Old literature. Well, yeah, that's all right.
Why does anyone have a problem with anything? They're terrible because people are dumb.
Hunter's take of the day. Hunter's hot take of the day. Why does anyone have a problem with anything?
Get it framed on your walls, ladies and gentlemen. Why do people fucking freak out about anything? That's my critical. That's Hunter's critical thought of the day.
Hunter watching like live leak execution videos. Oh,
exactly.
Boys
What the
can't
hell's
have
the
fun
problem?
anymore.
So what? I guess like this is a human experience. I can't. Okay, whatever.
I guess we have problems with this now.
What is the Picture of Dorian Gray about?
It's the story of the guy who I can't remember if it's a deal with the devil or a witch or whatever, but the picture on his wall ages and he stays young.
Oh,
and the deal is he
that's right.
can just never look at the picture. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because it's too shocking. Oh,
I don't think there's anything sexual in. I may be completely misremembering something, but it's just about like his people become terrified of the picture, so he begins to become more and more of a recluse because of it. I can't remember anything that drastic in it, but anyway.
I don't know, maybe he was just jerking soft pud or something. That'd be so sick.
I don't think so.
Picture of Dorian Gray. Then Dorian went into the corner.
Okay. It always comes back to that for you.
Started jerking his soft pud.
Doesn't matter what the topic is,
and then in quotations,
bring it around
and then in quotations, it's like Dorian looked up from the corner. In quotation, it says, "Me jerk me soft pud." That's what
I'm so careful now to not give you landmines to set off. to take you into those directions.
I'm just
like I'm
saying
very
that if
careful
someone
with
had a
my
big
wording.
problem with it,
But
if
you
I
don't
was
even need it.
I
You
was
just jump into it.
If your child went to school and came home, like, yeah, we're reading this book, and you were like, oh, that's picture of Dorian Gray. Yeah, he talks about pulling the soft pud. You'd probably be upset. I mean, I wouldn't. I think it's kind of funny, but
I'm sure
two
you
different
wouldn't.
worlds. Anyways, I scoffed. I thought Californians loved the gays. Not anymore. They don't. I'm going to the bathroom. Editor, cut this out. But she just has like a giant shit stain on her bikini. Okay, go ahead.
I don't think that's that. Why does that need to be cut? Why can everything you just said about Dorian Gray be left in?
All right, well, then cut everything about Dorian Gray.
No. I'm saying, what's with this double standard of yours? Why is poop suddenly off the table?
Oh, I thought that the Dorian Gray thing was tasteful and the poop thing was random.
Oh, did you? Okay, you know what, editor, leave all of it. I'm tired of this. Rin pointed at the call motion waves.
Bathroom's that way.
Before I could walk.
Oh, sorry about that. Just shit pulling out her leg. Yeah, I thought Californians liked us gays. Also, I'm picturing editor cut this. I just want you to know that, and I hope that I just wanted to put that in your mind so you have it there too. Go ahead.
Thanks. Before I could walk to the nearest crab shack, a man in a three-piece suit and a briefcase approached us.
Excuse me. I'm sorry to bother you, ladies, but I couldn't help but notice how beautiful you both are. Right after I just said that's kind of... All right, good.
I'm glad you're having a good time. Rin and I shared a quick look.
Thank you.
He put the palm of his hand on his chest.
My name is Howard Burton. I run a local modeling company, and you ladies would be perfect models for our website. Modeling?
Rin questioned as she stood up.
Modeling! Say, what size shoe do you ladies wear? All right, this is where I would immediately be like, all right, buddy, get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
Your feet look quite exquisite.
Started glancing at Rin again, trying to gauge if she was as weirded out as I was.
We both wear 7.5. Perfect! True niche. My company could use girls like you. With compensation, obviously.
Made my ears perk up.
How much? Our rates start up at $1,200 an hour, always paid in cash.
This has to be pornography.
I mean, like, $1,200,000,000%. First off, a guy is approaching you, and he's like, hey, you're both really beautiful, which obviously... You gotta watch out for that anyways, but then also just be like, what the first thing after that is what size shoe do you wear? You can tell that motherfucker's drooling. He's just like, this little piggy went to the market. This little piggy, you know what I mean? Can't trust that.
Yeah. My jaw dropped.
And what would we be doing? I run a website dedicated to highlighting the different aspects of beauty. We are currently focusing on legs and feet.
There it is. There it is. Well, at least they're not wasting any time. Howard handed me a business card.
Give us a call if you're interested. We'll set up a date for us to pick you up and take you to the studio. You'll pick us up? We send a car for all of our models.
With that, he walked away.
There's no way we're doing it, right?
I took out my phone to search for True Niche. Sounded like a 20-year-old tech billionaire's failed AI project.
It has good reviews.
I scrolled through the monochromatic interface, filled with women's arms in long latex gloves and feet and heels so high they looked like weapons. A tab for men was available, though with a significantly smaller supply. Below the tab, directing you to the About section, was a password-protected exclusive tab.
The website seems legit.
There's a hit on a website dedicated to body parts. There's an exclusive tab you have to pay for, and she's like, it checks out to me. Nothing here to worry about.
It does read, and I will be honest, it does read like porn. Does it not?
Yeah.
Exclusive to me reads like a different word for porn.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. When we got home, I immediately called the number on the business card. A disembodied woman asked if I was buying or selling.
Selling? Howard approached my wife and me today.
I heard some typing on the other end of the line.
What's your address?
As I told her, my wife looked at me from across our kitchen in utter disbelief. More typing.
We'll send a call tomorrow at 9 p.m.
9 p.m. to get driven out to be paid $1,200 an hour.
To get pictures of your feet, bro. I would. There's no.
You're getting
shot.
killed and dumped in Mexico.
There's no. I mean, don't get me wrong. $1,200 an hour is fucking amazing, but I mean, come on. 9 p.m. Could we do noon? Could we do it like a more normal
Whatever
time?
happened to a good midday foot?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
If you're gonna sit there and lick and suck my toes and shit, at least can we just do it at lunchtime? Come on now.
Perhaps on a nice veranda with witnesses.
Yeah, in an Olive Garden in public.
In an Olive Garden.
Yeah, a tour of Italy and some Tootsies, dude. Come on now.
Yeah, the manager of Olive Garden comes by. It's like, ma'am, and you're like, I'm getting $1,200 for this.
Oh,
so.
right away. Also, yeah, like the manager of an Olive Garden's gonna give a fuck. They're gonna be like, "You want more breadsticks?" That's all they'd say, dude.
You love to just talk down Olive Garden. I've never had a bad time at an Olive Garden.
is not that good. It's really not.
You don't know what you're doing then. You get the gnocchi soup and you get the calamari, and then you get the angel hair with the 5 cheese marinara, and it's delicious.
God, there's something going on with your voice today. You sound deathly. Are you sick?
No, I've been talking to people all day, so it's probably a little
strained. Well, let me tell you,
yeah, probably.
Our listeners are going to suffer this episode, buddy.
Okay.
The way you said angel hair made my skin crawl. If anything, that should be you should do all the voices. By the end of this, it just sounds like a goddamn throat went through a cheese grater. Angel hair and calamari.
I'm actually quite enjoying making you do most of the reading this time. So
that is true. You've done the heavy lifting. You've done the heavy lifting.
Yeah, this is just like saying the homophobic things in an episode. This is your cross to bear, not mine.
If it's the cross I must carry, then I will carry it.
She hung up before I could say anything else.
You did not just do that. Do you realize how dangerous this could be? I mean, if you don't want to come with me, that's fine, but I'm not going to pass up this opportunity.
She pressed her tongue on the inside of her cheek.
I don't like this. I don't like living off a teacher's salary.
Took an energy drink out of the fridge to help me finish grading my class's worksheets, while Ren left the kitchen with a huff of disapproval. The next day, a black van stopped in front of the house. Listen, not even a sliding door. The back door opened, revealing 2 empty seats.
At least we aren't alone. Yeah,
you're getting murdered.
A black 1986 Chevy Astro. Get in the back. Fuck that. When have you ever seen someone get in the back seats of a car from the back of a van? Fuck that.
In movies where people get kidnapped.
That is true. Probably Black Phone. Black Phone was probably the last one. Yeah.
After making sure I had my wallet and pepper spray, I stepped into the van.
Fresh meat.
The woman to my left said.
Excuse me?
Her friend barked at her. I put my hand on my back to signal that maybe it wasn't the best time to get into a fight.
You're new. Fresh meat. All right, whoever this character is, I already don't like that. I don't like that already. She's going to have a stripper name. I can already tell you that. It's like that kind of quirky Harley Quinn attitude. 1,000,000%.
I cleared my throat as the inside of the van began to close in.
What's your name?
I needed at least one friend there, and she was the first person to acknowledge me.
Crystal. And you are, oh my God.
All right, there you go.
God, I mean, can I at least get a bear trap there?
Bear trap.
Holy moly!
Was pretty, yeah.
Wow. God.
In my head, I was like, what would constitute a stripper name? But that, yeah. No.
Just be like,
Crystal, and you are?
I feel like I should give her like a bit of a
Crystal, and you are?
Yeah, a little cigarette rasp. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've been grinding the poles all night, sweetie.
Alice.
I pointed my thumb at my partner.
Ren.
Howdy got a 2-for-1 deal with y'all. Roommates or both.
Oh, Crystal, you are a character.
What's saving you? That cigarette voice is doing a lot of the heavy lifting on that slur. I'm not gonna lie to save you.
I'm gonna say, yeah, immediately constituting the cigarette thrash and then getting hit with a is just crazy back to back. I mean, the bear trap's like, whoosh, 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 whoosh. It's like that end scene in Mouse Hunt when they have like a million mouse traps set up. It's like that with bear traps this episode.
I'm in a scary house, but don't worry about that. Instead, what you should be worried about is getting in on today's sponsor, Ultra Pouches. You know, believe it or not, waking up in the morning and immediately filling your body with caffeine or nicotine to get in order is probably not a good thing. Just ask yourself, how many cups of coffee, energy drinks, nicotine pouches, or vape hits do you think you do in a day? Then ask yourself the follow-up question, are you proud of that? These things can make you feel good in one sense, but also put you on edge, give you anxiety. So if you're looking for something else to help with your focus and energy levels, then Ultra Pouches might be right for you. Ultra Pouches are nicotine-free and caffeine-free. That's because Ultra partnered with neuroscientists to design these pouches. Instead of using a drug to sustain your energy, Ultra Pouches uses adaptogens and nootropics. You can help lift your energy and sharpen your mind without a crash. Plus, Ultra Pouches can get rid of cravings and keep your focus on what you're trying to get done, meaning it's got the benefits of a lot of stuff you were probably already doing without the, the unbenefit part. Plus, with flavors from cool mint to watermelon, I'm sure there's a flavor out there you'll love. Perhaps they can even help me get through this purgatory of a podcast. It's not because of you all or I don't enjoy the show, it's just you've seen the guy I have to do this with. Ultra is the ultimate gift-free pouch, delivering instant focus and mental clarity without the need for nicotine or caffeine. And right now, if you head to the link in the description at takeultra.com and use the discount code Creepcast, you can get your Ultra pouches for 15% off. That's right, 15% off. Once again, that's takeultra.com and discount code Creepcast, all one word, to get in on their offer today. And if after your purchase, you could let them know that we sent you, we'd really appreciate it. Thank you to Ultra for sponsoring the show. Their link will be in the description, and we are now back to the episode.
I pressed down on Ren's shoulder, keeping her from getting out of her seat.
I take you've worked here for a while then.
She nodded.
We all have.
Looked at all the women in the back row. Different ages, races, and sexes assigned at birth.
So you like working here then?
She shrugged.
It pays the bills. It pays for designer.
She ran her fingertips across her chest, flaunting her Chanel necklace.
Can't complain.
We spent the rest of the ride in silence. Howard greeted us as we entered the studio.
Welcome back to True Niche, ladies. We have some new members joining us, so make sure to be welcoming.
A short man in a black polo and khakis handed him a clipboard before walking away.
Let's see here.
He put on thin frame glasses, accentuating his beady little blue eyes.
Crystal, Daisy, and Amber, you're with Fred. Cherry and Jade, you're with George. Alice and Ren, you're with Dave.
Clapped his hands and walked over to us.
Everyone to their places. Chop, chop.
Ren grabbed my hand and squeezed.
Where exactly are we going?
She asked as everyone dispersed. Howard smiled.
Room 106! Depending on what we're shooting, you'll be either in a room or outside the parking lot. Today, we'll start simple. Follow me.
I think I'd rather be in the parking lot where people can see me.
I would
at
love
9
to do this
PM.
on asphalt if possible. No. This is Crystal's territory. Yeah. Keep me outside to burn. Yeah. Flip me when I start to char.
Flip me when I start to char. We
Yeah, Fred
him.
over there, we call him Spatula.
Okay, all right. It was fine until you brought a man into the equation. Like the implication was there. You didn't have to.
Fred was just introducing the story.
Call him the spatula. We followed him to a bright room with pretty standard photography equipment. Softbox lighting kits illuminated a gray leather couch that stood at the center of a white backdrop.
Dave, meet our new girls.
Howard said while the photographer messed with his camera.
I'm going to check on the rest of our ladies. You kids play nice now. I mean, my God.
Yeah, very creepy. No question. Dave looked at us with a sinister gleam in his eyes.
Nice.
He crouched down to get a closer look at our legs.
You have a birthmark.
He became Spanish between those lines.
See.
He said as he He said as he poked the side of my right ankle.
You want to cover it? No, it's fine.
I responded, not seeing the danger in such a small mark being visible. He set his camera on the tripod and beckoned us over to the couch, where he handed us a pair of black thongs.
Hey, put this on.
I did as directed. Ren, why are they so cool with this? I did as directed. Ren begrudgingly followed. As a silent command, he handed us hot pink stilettos.
Alright, let's get started. For now, just do what feels natural.
With no other direction, I crossed my legs. Blinding flashes of light erupted in the already bright room. Metallic clicks filled my ears as Dave took the photos.
Ooh, nice.
As I tried a few other positions, I noticed Ren wasn't moving. I thought she just wasn't sure how to pose.
Just do what I do.
I said, trying to be encouraging.
Right, because you're such an expert.
With a sigh, I lay on my back and raised my legs so they were completely vertical, prompting Ren to do the same.
Hold that. Do not move a fucking millimeter.
He said as the camera shutter sank. Finally, an hour had passed. Howard came back and gave us our payment in cash as promised.
Same time tomorrow?
The following gigs were pretty standard. After a long day of teaching and grading papers, I'd put on heels, ballet slippers, or Doc Martens and pose to show off my legs or feet, depending on the day. Sometimes we even shot close-ups of our knees. We wore fishnets or sheer tights here and there, but Howard said our viewers preferred to see as much of our skin as possible. I wasn't going to complain when we were getting free routine pedicures. Crystal and I had begun getting close. After my first week, she invited me out for drinks after a shoot.
How's Howie treating you?
She asked before taking a sip of her Aperol spritz.
Good. Will that change?
How long have you and your wifey been together?
5 years.
You're lucky you were recruited together. This job isn't something you can easily explain.
It's just modeling.
For now.
All right. It's leading somewhere
It's
here.
Where
are we
gonna
going?
Get worse. It'll get worse. I feel like you remember that story, Normal Porn for Normal People,
Oh,
where it's
sure.
all just kind of bizarre videos, but then there's a chimpanzee that beats a woman to death.
That was a part of first pasta grab bag.
Yep. That's how I feel right now.
I have a feeling you're actually, you know what? You're probably right. It is probably going to be something like that, where it's like, hey,
It'll be
take
something
this,
super weird. Yeah.
take this fish and beat it to death. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Step on. Or what's this is really graphic for the audience, but you know about crush videos, right?
Do I know about crush videos?
Yeah.
Well, explain.
Well, I don't really want to, but it's this genre of like extreme pornography where it's like women crushing small animals to death with their feet and stuff. It's super evil, illegal and stuff like that, but I imagine this may be going in that direction where it's like, okay, now you have to step on like a small animal or something like that.
I see.
Like weird fetish content. The money we were earning went to the typical bills, car payments, and student loans, leaving us enough to enjoy the quiet luxuries of a morning Starbucks coffee and brand name groceries. Though I couldn't help but feel twinges of jealousy when Crystal would show me the new designer clothes and jewelry she bought. I asked Howard about how Ren and I could increase our earnings, and as soon as the words left my mouth, a sinister smile spread across his face. He led us to the studio's parking lot, where our usual white backdrop was set up.
This is where we film our more exclusive content.
Howard said as a group of interns filled a plastic bin with a viscous red liquid.
What's that? That is the blood you're going to be dipping your feet into.
Here we go.
You're not serious.
Howard smoothed the front of his blazer with his pale hands.
It's very simple. All you have to do is dip your feet inside, move around a bit. Very simple. There's a huge market for it. It's oversaturated, actually, but with a top site for a reason. Absolutely not.
Ren angrily grabbed my wrist.
We're leaving.
She started walking, but I didn't move.
We are leaving, aren't we?
Howard smirked.
You're free to go, Alice, but it's double the pay for so little work, and it only gets better from here.
Looked at the pool of blood and stifled the nausea rising inside my stomach.
Where exactly did the blood come from?
I asked as if that would make things better.
A local butcher.
I weighed my options. I could leave penniless or shoot a simple video. pulled away from Ren's grasp and said pathetically,
I'll see you at home.
The shoots started progressively getting more intense. Tarantulas and snakes were placed under the thread of my fishnets. Hissing cockroaches roamed the expanse of my legs. After a scene involving hundreds of acupuncture needles, Crystal and I went out for a midnight snack. One of Howard's many drivers took us to a local fast food joint.
You're lucky we're not filming your face.
Crystal said with a mouthful of fries.
Why's that? What do you mean, why's that? You're fucking rolling around in blood
Why
and
wouldn't
spiders.
I want my face in it? Yeah.
Also, you're a teacher.
Why wouldn't I want?
Like, what?
Why, as
Hello?
I, a teacher of children, would I not want people to know I do that kind of thing? I asked, picking at my grilled chicken sandwich. Since Howard implied our viewers would rate my content higher if I lost a few pounds, I've been watching what I ate.
You look terrible.
I groaned as my hands rubbed the side of my face. Deep purple eye bags started to push through the skin of my face.
I know. I haven't been sleeping lately.
Nightmares?
I could still feel last week's centipedes.
You need to relax, girl. How's wifey?
Still not happy with me. Maybe she's right. We were doing fine before. Maybe I should quit.
Maybe you should.
I didn't. Not that night, anyway. Instead, I bought new swimsuits and dragged her into the beach. I lay in the sand with her and watched the ebb and flow of ocean waves. Sitting in new beach chairs, we drank Smirnoffs and compared seashell collections. She told me about her co-workers who were definitely screwing, but constantly denied it. For a moment, things felt normal. We were walking along the shore when a football landed at our feet. I saw one of my students jog up to me. Rare but not necessarily unwelcome occurrence.
Sorry about that.
When he leaned down to pick it up, he jolted backwards, his face turning a sickening white before he sprinted away. I looked down, thinking he saw a crab or bug of sorts, but all I saw was my right ankle. Yeah, maybe don't put identifying birthmarks on extreme fetish websites.
Oh, yeah.
One night, as usual, I entered the studio, following Howard to the parking lot. I noticed the camera wasn't at its usual height. Instead, it was much lower.
We're going to try something new today,
he said before taking a kiwi out of his pocket and unceremoniously dropping it onto the ground. With an aggressive stomp, he crushed the fruit. Seeds and green flesh splattered on the pavement.
Simple enough?
Yep, here it goes. Here it goes. We're
Here
getting
it
there.
is.
I nodded. I could see the appeal for the ASMR, if not fetish purposes. Dave handed me a pair of incredibly uncomfortable Louis Vuittons and positioned me in front of the camera. An intern holding a cardboard box dumped the contents at my feet. Guinea pigs. And bear trap.
Bear trap.
And I was right, sadly.
Normal corn for normal people. What a bear trap, Isaiah. All right,
Well,
let's get this show on the road.
Dave said so incredibly casually. Interns stood crouched at both ends of the set to keep them from escaping. Howard saw the confusion on my face,
Just like I showed you.
said with a dark smile. I was absolutely stunned.
You're kidding, right?
I laughed, desperately hoping this was all a big joke.
Our clients pay top dollar for premium content. No fucking way.
I said, trying to keep my voice from shaking.
It's $1,000 for each one.
I looked at the small creatures innocently roaming around. 6,000. I shook my head and kicked off my shoes.
I'm done. You're always welcome back if you change your mind. Just give us a call.
Howard handed me another business card, this time with a different number. As I stormed off, I swore I heard him say,
You'll be back.
Ren was ecstatic when I told her I quit, even suggesting we go out to celebrate my newfound freedom. Another month of the fall semester passed, and I had almost forgotten about the whole thing. I was cleaning out my purse when Howard's business card fell out. I went to throw it away until I realized I had never read the back. There was a password. My eyes widened. Quickly, I pulled out my phone, entering the password for True Niche's exclusive tab. Innocent thumbnails and gruesome titles greeted me. Frog Stomp, Roach Crush, Kitten Squish. Each video had at least a 4-star rating. I thought I was lucky for quitting when I did. Like she does every month, Ren went to visit her mom in the next town over. I wanted to go with her as I usually did, but my schedule kept me from doing so. With a kiss goodbye, she left the house. That afternoon, I checked my emails and saw one from Principal Kane saying I needed to attend an urgent meeting with her at the end of the day. My lesson on Fahrenheit 451 passed far too quickly.
Good afternoon, Miss Mendez.
Greeted Kane.
You know Emma's mother, Miss Davis, I assume?
I turned to the woman sitting in the gray office chair.
Yes, of course.
I gave a smile that didn't reach my eyes.
We've spoken many times.
Sit in the chair next to her and looked back at Kane.
What's this about? Can you explain the reading list you gave your students?
Screw my life, I thought.
Yes, ma'am. This year, my students have an AP exam in which they write an essay based on a book of their choosing. I gave a list of college-level books for them to choose from. Can you list some of these books, please? There's 1984, The Handmaid's Tale, The Picture of Dorian Gray. That one.
Interrupted Miss Davis.
That's the one my daughter was reading. I looked into it, and it was highly inappropriate.
I cleared my throat.
Your child is in a college-level class, and therefore she'll be exposed to more mature literature. If you have an issue with the particular book, Emma has plenty more to choose from. Exactly my point. The books you have suggested are pornographic. Like that Lolita one.
Clenched my fist as Kane started speaking.
What exactly is the issue? Or the book is literally about pedophilia. It's absolutely ridiculous. Mrs. Mendez, is that true?
I swallowed the lump beginning to form in my throat. There's no way for me to win this.
The book follows an adult character who has an inappropriate attraction to children, which the book in no way glamorizes or encourages.
I blinked away the tears that threatened to fall.
It's on the official reading list for AP Literature.
Kane sighed.
Regardless, you've gotten too many complaints from parents these past few years, especially regarding the GSA club you run. Now, I've defended you in the past, but we've had too many parents share concern about your influence on our students. I will, unfortunately, have to terminate your contract effective immediately. Please have your room cleared before you leave.
Hey, can you explain why students read these books? Well, yeah, they're famous books that you learned in college.
I love that the principal too is just like, I have no idea what these books are. Please tell me. It's like, what? Why don't you know what these are?
The principal of a school that has an AP literature course, have never heard of Lolita, the picture of Dorian Gray, Fahrenheit 451.
I can't. And also, people are complaining, so you gotta go.
So we're going to fire a teacher, an AP teacher, in the middle of the semester. Right?
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
The rest of the day was a blur. One moment I was in Kane's office, and the next I was on my couch crying. I called Ren hundreds of times, only to be left on voicemail. When I thought the day couldn't get any worse, I got a call from her mother. As soon as I accepted the call, I was met with uncontrollable sobbing. My heart immediately started racing.
What's wrong?
Where are you?
Sobbed Michelle.
Home. Why? What's wrong? Is Ren with you?
She's in the hospital.
My blood ran cold. I felt my face turn white.
What?
Get down here as soon as you can.
Inside the sterile hospital room, I saw something that looked like my wife, except she never slept on her back. Needles and tubes were shoved throughout her entire body. Brown skin was abnormally pale, not sun-kissed with gorgeous tan lines. She didn't even smell like herself. Her mom and doctor explained what happened. A hit and run. Not sure when or if she'll wake up. The cost. God, the bills. We had money saved, but it was nowhere near enough to cover the extent of her injuries. For what I put her through, I owed her the best care I could buy. I excused myself to the hallway and rummaged through my purse until I found it. I called the number and was greeted by Howard's voice.
I knew you'd be back.
6,000 isn't enough, Howard.
I'm nothing if not accommodating.
Dave handed me a pair of chunky black combat boots and led me to the man tied up on the ground. Patches of gray hair grew on his otherwise bald head. Liver spots created constellations on his aged face. His clothes had a layer of dirt and reeked of cigarettes. His screaming was muffled by the duct tape covering his mouth.
I believe 50,000 is more than a suitable offer. 75.
His eyes widened. An almost proud look spread across his face.
Deal. Now. Just like we discussed.
Dave started the camera. I rubbed the front of my boot over the side of the man's face until I reached his temple. Lifted my right foot and, with no hesitation, dropped it down. The man grunted with each impact. Blood spurted onto the asphalt at the top of my leg. I looked down to see shattered pieces of teeth that shot out of his mouth. His skull caved in wet cracks that made my stomach turn. With each stomp, my foot got closer to the ground until I finally stepped into a pool of pure flesh and brain matter. Once the camera turned off, I collapsed, dry heaving as sweat dripped down the side of my face. I felt Howard approaching me, and without even looking at him, I knew he was smiling. I dropped the cash in front of me.
Well done. I'm sure Ren will be thankful.
I took the money and stood up. Nothing left of my humanity, I asked.
Same time tomorrow?
And that is the end of the story. Because after that, the author has a note that says, "This is my first real attempt at horror, so please let me know your thoughts." And then the story got taken off of No Sleep at 144 upvotes for, quote, victimization.
Victimization. You know what? It's a fun tale. I like the idea of people, especially like teachers, getting into, I guess, almost graphic pornography just because they're not paid enough. I think it's kind of interesting. There was a lot of things I think if you did take a longer crack at the story, like I really like the, what I thought was going to happen is, so the person sets up that the woman's complaining about like the stories being too graphic or whatever. I thought there was going to be more of a tie-in of my son's been watching your videos online or something. You know what I mean? Like something along those lines to have those connect a bit more. And I think, I also think, just as like, if just, I guess for subjective thoughts, I think teachers earn so little that I don't know if you have to have Ren go into like a horrible, mangled, hospitalized state.
I do think there needs to be an event. Either you make it at the beginning that they're about to lose the house or something.
Yeah.
Or the accident. You need an event where it's like, I have to have money now, because they may not be surviving well, but a Chanel necklace isn't a good enough reason to do the violence.
I'm just saying, I think you got to choose one. I think either you lose the job or you have a hospital thing. Having them both be both back to back, I was like, but you know, I think like you have to have it. I think like I knew where they were going there. Like you have to have an event that's like, that's the catalyst that brings them back in and stuff. But you know, I think like if it was expanded upon, I do like the idea of like, you know, having such an innocent job and then basically resorting to such a cruel and disgusting trade or whatever, and having to do that in secrecy. There's a lot that you could actually expand that story on, which is pretty fun.
I think it's a good idea. I liked it. I thought it was a well done story.
If it went farther, let me ask you this real quick. If it went farther, would that be considered? I keep seeing stories like, I know that we've touched on this briefly, but like splatter, like, what's the genre?
Splatterpunk?
It's splatterpunk. Yeah. Would that be the same thing, or is that not? Or is this just a
I feel
thing?
like not this story, because splatterpunk is kind of all about the descriptions of the violence and the gore and stuff like that. It's almost like pornographic, but it's about, you know, people exploding or blood or whatever.
I see.
I feel like the actual videos would probably be considered splatterpunk adjacent.
So splatterpunk is like it would like really go into depth and detail about how like guinea pigs and shit are being squished and stuff.
Yeah, and like the organs and the grossness and the squelching and things. I feel like that'd be more attached to it, where like the visuals that are being described are more so. This is just kind of like a kind of gory, at least at the end, you know, horror story, I'd say. But I like the direction. I like the idea of like this person getting desperate and getting drawn into this bad world. I like the quick mention of the kid seeing the birthmark that she wasn't afraid of in the beginning, but should have been. I feel like I agree with you, Hunter, that if you're going to take it there, then maybe she gets fired because someone identified the birthmark to kind of bring it full circle.
That'd be kind of fun. And then she loses her credibility. There's a lot you could do too with like the interpersonal,
because that would also be a reason. Because I feel like sure, there's dumb principles, but her getting fired is a little too like extreme. But if she was found to be on these websites, that would be a reason they'd fire a teacher right away.
Yeah. Versus just being like, oh, your AP stuff is you've upset the parents.
Your 17-year-old students know what Lolita is, fired immediately.
Yeah. I think that,
but these are really nitpicks only because the author asked for feedback. I thought it was a great story, and fun. I really would like to see the author do more. That was very well done. I enjoyed that.
I thought it was also going to go to a thing where she goes back, she gets tempted too much with the like vanity and the kind of like the wealth, to where Ren would leave her and then she gets distracted at work. So then they like bring her in and she has to like, you know, she like is masked or something, and then like she stomps on her or kills her. And then it's like basically like does something horrible in pursuit of this, like, you know, to her to her partner or whatever. Would be interesting too, but yeah, I don't know. It was a lot of fun. I like that one.
I thought that was a good one. Very well
everyone,
done.
take a moment. Small golf claps. Isaiah, are you doing it?
I'm doing it.
Very good.
Support for today's episode comes from Square, the business platform that helps sellers become neighborhood favorites. Square helps you run your business more smoothly, bringing payments, operations, and insights together in one place. Whether you're gearing up for the busy season or just trying to keep up with everyday demand, Square gives you the tools. From payments to POS to online orders, inventory, and staffing, it's all in one place so you can focus on your customers, not your to-do list. With Square, boothing at conventions is a breeze. With a phone, the Square app, and a Square Reader dock, we can sell merch, track sales, and keep the line moving. It makes everything simple and streamlined, and it allows me to focus on spending time with fans. Yay. Plus, with Square, you get real-time reports on what you're selling to easily track growth and identify when you need to restock on fan favorites. Square launched its most powerful tools yet, designed to give local businesses a competitive edge without the complexity. If you're ready to sell smarter and run faster and stress less, right now you can get up to $200 off Square hardware when you sign up at square.com/go/creepcast. That's SQUARE.com/GO/creepcast. Run your business smarter with Square. Get started today!
This episode is sponsored by Lola Blankets. Lola Blankets is the world's #1 blanket crafted with ultra soft luxury faux fur. It's stylish, machine washable, and built to last for years, which is why Lola Blankets is my go-to gift for any occasion. When you give a Lola blanket, it upgrades the entire home, elevating any space it's in, making it feel warm, cozy, and stylized. And Lola Blankets comes in a range of sizes. The large is perfect for watching movies on the couch or snuggling up with someone else, and they even have weighted blankets for those looking for an even more calming and relaxing item. Plus, they also have matching pillows too that look amazing and are just as comfortable. Lola Blankets have collabed with numbers of amazing designers, including limited edition drops with Tiza, Harmony Buh, and Rachel Puh. Whether it's a wedding, housewarming, baby shower, or graduation, upgrade someone's space with Lola Blankets. For a limited time, our listeners get 40% off select Lola Blankets products with code Creepcast at checkout. Just head to lolablankets.com and use code Creepcast. After your purchase, let us where you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know where we sent you. Thanks, guys. Back to the episode.
The next one we have lined up here is the smell in the boys' restroom is getting worse. And boy, does it get worse. This is by a username named Flush Fries.
Flush Fries post a lot in Creepcast and Tales from the Creeps and stuff. Again, active member of the community. Someone kill me. But they have it tagged as supernatural. So, Hunter, are you ready for some supernatural scares?
Let's do it. I'm ready to smell in the boys' room.
I'm sure you are. The smell in the boys' restroom is getting worse. The smell had gotten worse somehow. When we first walked into the 8th grade boys' restroom, it was only a mild stench, one that you and your buddy acknowledge and then move on. Within 15 minutes, it had gone from mild to unbearable.
Can I just give can I just give a quick story real quick? Because this is just This literally happened to me in 8th grade too. We walked into the restroom one time because in schools, there's usually like bigger restrooms and there's like some that have the smaller ones, you know. Right. We went to the smaller one next to like our science classes and stuff. And we walked in and someone was obviously just like decimating the land. I mean, it was so bad.
You say that like it's westward expansion.
It was. It was. They were salting the earth.
Natural supplies.
They were salting the earth, basically. It was horrible. But you're waiting in line. You're doing whatever, and this kid walks in. He does. He like does the Dracula cover with his arm. You know. He does. Oh my God. What is going on? I don't know who the person in the bathroom was. I didn't stay there long enough to see who came out, but you just saw his shoes. And like while he was talking, his shoes were like shuffling. And he was just like, leave me alone. The kid was like, this smells like carrots in here. And behind the stall, you just heard the kid do, I hate carrots. And that became a meme. Is I hate carrots. Just like the most putrid shit smell ever. I hate carrots. So that gave me a thing where we'd be at lunch, we'd be like, I hate carrots. Funny story. Anyways.
I hate carrots. When I think of the bathroom for this story, I think of the one I told the story in previously when we played Bloody Mary and they just beat me with a bag full of basketballs. You remember that story, right?
They just beat me with a bag full of... First off, the bag must have been so comically large against your tiny body.
Oh, it was bigger than I was.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sure. Like... I can only imagine. Guys, please!
There was another time I was in that bathroom and there was a younger, I was like 7th grade, I think. And there was a kid in the 6th grade or whatever who thought I had made fun of him, which I don't even remember the context. I don't think I had or anything, but he just decided he was going to fight me one day.
Why?
And
Just
I don't know.
because?
He was just like a mad kid who was always like breaking stuff or whatever. So
I see.
he was just like, this guy pissed me off.
This
so he's
guy
gonna
fucking pisses me off.
Yeah, so he's just gonna come like fight me while I'm in the bathroom or the locker room. And someone had kind of mentioned it to me earlier that day, but I didn't think anything of it. And then I was in the locker room before basketball practice, and I was changing in there and I was standing up, and the kid walked in, and like 3 other kids walked in behind him.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked up at him and I acknowledged he was there. And then I looked down at my shoes, and then I hear some movement. And then all of a sudden I'm thrown directly into the lockers. And what had happened is as soon as I looked away, he ran at me and double legs in the air, like did a flying kick.
He did scissor kick
straight
you?
into he scissor kicked me straight into the locker doors. And I didn't get hurt that bad because he mostly pushed me into the lockers, but he landed like his back directly on the bench in the middle of the room. So he kicks me, I fall over, and he's like, oh! Because he had hurt his back.
If you can, please try to reenact the sound you made when you got hit, because I have a sound in my mind that you made, but I need to see if it matches.
It's probably like, did you get that?
I think Discord has cut it out.
How about Discord isn't picking it up at all.
I can't hear it. I don't know if you can hear me, but I just imagine it was.
No, it was
I
Did
can't.
you get that
I'm gonna have to wait till this fucking episode is edited to fucking hear this stupid sound. I need to hear it so bad.
hold on, I'm gonna send you a
Are you gonna voice memo it? Yeah, give me a voice memo.
This is such a stupid way to do this. Have fun with that.
Here we
Just
go.
send it
Let's
to
see.
you.
That's fair. That's getting scissor kicked into a locker.
I mean, just completely unexpected too.
Yeah. From out of fucking left field.
But it didn't hurt me that bad. But he got hurt, so he stands up and he's like crying, and he runs out and gets the coach or whatever and says that I beat him up.
God, really?
Yeah. Well, I came out and I'm like, he just kicked me. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, you have 2 Doc
And
Martin
I-
imprints on your chest.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, here's my arm. I got kicked in the arm. And I don't even think he got in trouble or anything. I think the coach was just like, hey, cut that out. Like, whatever.
Hey, stop that.
But anyway, that's the locker room I'm imagining for this story. Anyway.
Let's just start from the top. We're 3
Yeah. We've ruined any walk into this story.
I immediately fucked that up.
The smell had gotten worse somehow. When we first walked into the 8th grade boys' restroom, it was only a mild stench, one that you and your buddy acknowledge and then move on. Within 15 minutes, it had gone from mild to unbearable. My friend Percy gagged when we walked past the floor drain that was fuming with the smell. Being janitors, we're used to all sorts of horrible sights and smells. Shit-filled, backed-up toilets, used tampons stuck to the inside of a backless garbage can, ripped open garbage bags filled with half-eaten lunches now crawling with maggots, you name it. This was worse somehow. It was somewhere between rotten eggs and burning hair, but it had some other kind of quality to it, like sweat. It smelled alive.
Ugh.
Percy and I sprayed air freshener as best we could, but it kept crawling back out of the drain pipe on the floor and expanded in the air.
We might ought to call the gas people. Could be a leak.
I agreed, and we put the out of order sign on the door and locked it. When the gas line inspector showed up, we took him to the restroom, but when we opened the door, the smell hit us. It was like being hit on the bridge of the nose with a baseball bat. Percy gagged, the gas inspector shot backwards, and I said something that was a fireable offense. It had built up in there, and now we could taste it. The gas man put a mask on and went in. A minute later, he returned and took off his mask with a deep gasp and wiped the sweat from his forehead.
Well, there's no gas leak and nothing toxic was found. Maybe an animal got stuck in the pipes and died. I don't know. Open some windows and hope for the best, but for the love of God, do not let anyone in here.
You don't have to
Whatever
worry.
you do.
Yeah, for the love of God, keep them out.
You don't have to worry about that.
I bet one of these middle schoolers did something. They're always doing something stupid.
Percy laughed and said,
I remember in 8th grade, I tried to bring my hamster to school, so I put him in a jar, but I forgot to poke some air holes, and he died.
the gas man said.
I don't see how that's funny. I didn't say it was. It's the most awkward conversation. Okay, well, I'm gonna go. I'll see you later.
That beat for beat read like you talking to Nick.
That's true.
Like,
That is true.
just him being like, I remember I accidentally suffocated a hamster to death. How is that funny? I didn't say it was funny. After Percy and I got our own masks and goggles on, we ventured back in and tried opening the windows. The old piece of shit painted shut windows wouldn't give. It was a balancing act between being forceful and not breaking the old window. School hadn't been renovated since the 90s, and most of it was in bad shape. Cracked paint gave way to cinder block exposed walls, dead roaches around every corner, history books that stopped just after 9/11. The list goes on. I don't know what else anyone would expect. The town the high school was in only had about 3,000 residents, most of which were elderly. The strap on Percy's cheap face mask snapped and he started gagging. Told him to tie it, but his eyes filled with tears as he gasped for air. He started shaking so violently I thought he was going to break. Air started squeezing through his throat as he tried to breathe. His face turned red and the tears mixed with the snot and the foamy, thick saliva that slid out of his gasping mouth. I had to drag him back out of the restroom and slam the door back before the smell got out, but it was too late. A couple of teachers, Coach Tompkins and an older student, ran up and helped me pull Percy to the stairs so he could sit up. Coach tried to ask what the hell was going on, but he dry heaved, spit, and walked outside towards the cafeteria. The student got Percy some water, and one teacher ran to get the nurse.
What's going on in the boys' room?
The remaining teacher asked.
I don't know. Something dead, I think, but it can't be. It smells beyond worse than death.
I looked over to Percy, who was calmer but still suffering. The student asked the teacher.
Do you think it's some biological weapon like the communists had?
The teacher shook his head and said,
What? No.
It's rare in these stories that people play comedic beats that don't kill the tension. That was
Yeah,
a good one.
Yeah, that was great.
Just some stupid kid.
Yeah,
what?
what?
No.
What the fuck are you talking? No.
The communists. It's 2025.
Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about?
I don't even think you've ever met a
Sorry, I
communist.
just saw Red Dawn, so I just kind of fresh one.
Are we going to get to shoot him yet? Go home. School's over. What are you doing here? Percy started blowing his nose into his shirt, and once he was out of snot, he kept rubbing and picking and blowing until blood started coming out.
I can still smell it. Fuck me, I can still smell it. I don't smell anything out here. Me either. Fuck you! You didn't smell it as long as I did. None of you did.
The principal, who I didn't even notice, walked up and told Percy firmly to go home until he felt better, which he did. That night, at about 3 a.m., my apartment vibrated for 3 minutes. By the time I was awake enough to make decisions, it was over. Next morning, I asked my downstairs neighbor about it, and he said it was an earthquake. Earthquake? This happened in California or desert. That don't happen here. I thought the last one was over 100 years ago, but I was wrong. There had been one that night and the night before, but that one was one of those that was only technically an earthquake, the kind you don't feel. That morning, the smell was now coming from the drain in the girls' restroom as well as the boys'. I was unfortunate to catch a whiff. It smelled angry, like if burning curdled toe cheese was oozing with hatred.
Good God.
Halfway through the day, the power went out, so school was let out early for the weekend. And that Monday was a holiday, which meant a whole extra day for the smell to build up more. Percy hadn't shown up for work, and after I left, I tried calling him. After the third unanswered call, I drove to his trailer. The door was broken off the hinges, and every window slid open. And if they didn't slide, they were broken. His cat's litter box had been thrown out in the front yard. Poked my head in the door.
Hey, Percy, it's Lenny. Are you all right?
Scent of citrus hit me first, followed by mint and fresh pine. It was so strong, it was more of a chemical smell than anything. Inside, hanging from everywhere and covering every surface, was car air freshener trees and the peel top cans. All the fans were on max. I made my way to the back bedroom where I could hear moaning. Saw what I thought was a towel, but it was his cat. It laid there with a zip tie pulled tight around its neck. Tongue and eyes were swollen, sticking out at nothing.
Jesus.
Gosh, just garroted his cat. My
Good
word.
Lord.
Percy shrieked from the bedroom.
Who is it? What? What do you want?
I got to his bedroom doorframe and looked in. He was lying on his bed, covered in splotches of blood that ran from where his nose used to be, down his mouth and on his hands. He kept scratching and picking at it. Part of his upper lip was gone, just teeth and bloody gum shined back at me. It sounded like when you pick your fingernails, but it was deeper and wetter as he dug deeper into his nasal cavity. Meat and skin were under his broken fingernails. Tears ran down his face.
The smell won't go away. It won't go away. Why won't anyone help me? Percy, what the fuck did you do?
Cried so hard he started to hiccup.
I don't know. It smells so bad.
I really, like, off the title, I thought this would be kind of a more goofy, whatever, but I really like the direction this is taking.
Yeah, it's
like
a lot of fun.
Supernatural smell digging into, and
Yeah,
that's
it's cool. This is probably like a very, I don't know if this is cringe to say or whatever, but it's reading almost like a fucking Junji Ito manga. Like I'm picturing that artwork, and it has like a very Japanese cadence too. The way that it's almost like a folk tale or something, like it has that appeal, or it has that like feel to me.
It feels very similar to the spiral obsession in Uzumaki.
Yeah.
Like his at the beginning, the girl, I forget her name, but the girl's mom or the guy's mom, after her husband dies, starts to become obsessed with spirals. So she eventually digs out her cochlea because she thinks there's a spiral in her head. It's very reminiscent of that.
It's reminded me of the Grease story. Like the obsession of grease and the kid who is rubbing grease all over his face and he's like popping his pimples and shit. It's giving me that feel.
That end panel where all
one of the best
pimples
so
on the face pops and they're all so bad. Oh man. After the ambulance took him away, I went home and got drunk while I watched cartoons. I thought of is this guy you?
No.
No. I thought about it all, the smell, Percy, the earthquakes. Nothing seemed normal about any of it. This is incredibly Junji Ito now that you mention it. Like between the earthquakes, like the natural earth happening. Yeah.
It's like an evil unearthed from the, you know what I mean? It has that.
Yeah. It's some ancient thing that because most of Ito's stories are about like an event, right? That's like a symptom of some greater evil or entity that you don't really get an explanation on. It feels like that.
Yeah.
I woke up in a cold sweat later that afternoon after a shitty couch nap. Something, possibly the 10 cans of 16-ounce Pabst Blue Ribbon I drank, was telling me that the earthquakes and the smell at the school were connected. The doors to the school would be locked, but I had a key. The lights were still out on that side of town, but I had an LED lantern. Got my heavy-duty face mask, gloves, goggles, and boots. I stopped by a hardware store and grabbed one of those plastic suits with a hood you use for painting and a roll of duct tape. My homemade hazmat suit was ready to go. I never liked the dark hallways of an empty school. Most places, when they're empty, still have use. Being the only customer in a store is fine. The only person at a gas station is fine. But an empty dark school is like a corpse. No function, just stillness. My footsteps echoed as I made my way through the halls towards the 8th grade side. Other than my breathing, I could hear the soft, prickly little scurries of roaches as they fled from the light of my lantern. Why were there so many of them? Even through my mask, I could tell the smell was worse and had filled the hallways. I couldn't imagine how bad it would have been if I opened the door to the bathroom. Floors creaked and felt more slanted than usual. A flashlight beam shone across the corner in front of me, and I couldn't turn my lantern off in time before the flashlight blinded me. The muffled voice of Coach Tompkins called out.
Who's there?
It sounded like he wanted to shoot me.
It's Lenny the janitor.
He walked up to me. He had an army surplus gas mask on. Continued our conversation in the back alley behind the school, maskless.
What are you doing here?
I asked.
Could ask you the same thing, prawning around. I heard about your buddy. Real fucked up.
Yeah, no shit.
I think whatever's in the bathroom's got something to do with it. Same here.
He looked off and then back.
You hear about the Winters girl? No, what happened?
He sighed and rubbed his head over his mask.
She had been in the girls' restroom this morning and she got sick in my class and threw up. Right as the power went out, I'm telling you. I'm usually not one to believe in haunted devils and shit, but something didn't feel right about the whole thing. Plus, she threw up on the keyboard of one of the computers, and those are a bitch to clean. You heard about the earthquakes, didn't you? Sure did. I felt it. I bet I was the only one that knew what was happening last night.
He looked off and sniffed. In the restroom, it smelled almost as bad as the first day, only with the mask on. We pried the drain cover off the floor and shone a light down. There was nothing. Not as in nothing in the pipe. There was no pipe. There was nothing. A massive, cavernous space was below us. Coach trembled and he lost his grip on the little flashlight and it slipped into the drain hole. We watched, mouths agape, as it tumbled and twisted silently until it was a pinpoint of light in what might as well have been a sky of darkness. In the hallway, Coach and I just stared at each other and back at the door of the boys' restroom.
We gotta call the cops. The fuck's the cops gonna do? We gotta call the army or something. The National Guard. Scientist? Anybody.
I stood there for a minute before turning back to him.
Does the automotive class still have the really long spool of metal wire?
I know, like... Oh, he's attaching a camera now. Okay.
Yeah.
I was about to think they were going down there, and I'm like, okay. But the camera
No.
makes sense. Yeah. Upstairs, in Coach Tompkins' stim room, he attached a 360-degree GoPro camera to a selfie stick while I rolled the barrel of wire from the vocation building to the hallway in front of the restroom. We tied the guitar string-thin wire to the end of the stick along with another small flashlight on the camera and triple duct taped everything solid.
How much wire do you think we have? I'd say about 8 miles or more.
We hit record on the camera, turned the flashlight on, and we slowly fished it down into the abyss. I don't know how much time went by, but we still had not reached the bottom. The wire started giving off that tapping sound that travels from one end to the other, like the slinky sound. Before I could tell Coach that's where they got the blaster sounds in Star Wars from, it started really moving as if we caught a live one. We didn't like the sound of that, so we pulled the camera back up much quicker than we had let it down. It was still several minutes before it came back to us. Coach put on a rubber glove as I handed him the stick with the camera. He stopped recording and went to the tiny playback menu. We watched ourselves as we lowered the camera in, and we eventually, along with the drain opening, disappeared into the distance. The flashlight didn't even illuminate anything. Whatever cavern or cave that opened up beneath the bathroom was huge, possibly under the entire school property. We didn't think about that and sped through the solid black footage. He hit regular speed again, and we heard what we thought was water, then maybe it was humming? We weren't sure. Then we saw them. I thought they were grubs, the way they convulsed and how many there were. Then I saw the hair and the shoulders and the arms and the hands. Brown and green bones, yellow mud-like skin that fell and shifted as they all shuffled around over each other. All moving, all moaning, most crying. Some wailed and looked more human than the others, and some were only moving rot. They saw us. They turned and all stared at the light. They all reached for it as if it would save them. Their glistening eyes were the worst part. The wailing gave way to shouting, begging. One grabbed the camera and pulled it close. That's when the camera was pulled from his hands as they disappeared back into the darkness, still calling out. I could make out words, but I chose not to hear them. I was frozen. Coach Tompkins was not.
We gotta get the fuck out of here. We gotta get the fuck out of here.
He started panicking, but was just walking in circles.
Oh my God, I can't breathe in this fucking mask.
He threw it off.
Let's just go, man. Let's just go. How can we do anything?
He went into a coughing fit with spit stringing down his mouth. I'd either ignored it or didn't notice it before, but now I couldn't. The building started shaking again, much more than the previous earthquake. I heard them down there. He sobbed and grabbed me, but I shoved him off.
What do we do, Lenny? We get the fuck out of here now.
I turned and went towards the direction of the back door before I heard the massive rumble and crashes. I turned, and through the door labeled boys, I saw the restroom fall in on itself and down into nothing. Coach Tompkins started running.
Oh, God!
He slipped and fell into the growing hole. He sounded like an animal as he screamed. I ran to the back door of the school, past my car, and down the street. I was deaf from my heartbeat, and I ripped my mask and goggles off and tried to catch my breath on my hands and knees in the street. I turned and saw the entrance of the school fall in along with the middle part of it. My car was fine. I passed out as I heard sirens and car alarms. In the emergency room, I watched on the local news how the rare earthquakes exposed a sinkhole under the school building, where they suspected the sinkhole had been forming for years. They also mourned the loss of their baseball coach and STEM teacher, Coach Tompkins. Percy was dead now, but they didn't mention him. Clawed too deep into his nose and reached his brain. The nurse came in and asked how I was doing. I frowned and shrugged.
I'm fine. Oh, don't frown, mister. My daddy always used to call me poor old Lazarus when I would pout. What? Why? Well, he was Orthodox, you see. Christian, not Jew. He said that after the good Lord brought his Lazarus back from Hades, he never smiled again because of all the souls he saw that weren't saved. What?
I'd be like,
hey, could you get the fuck out of my room, you creepy bitch? Holy hell. What?
that's cool. Can you never come back into this room
Yeah.
again?
Hey,
Thank you.
76-year-old woman. I can imagine it's like a very, very old woman. Like, cool.
I never heard of that, but I didn't say so. Then I asked her.
Why are you wearing that face mask? Well, ever since that sinkhole formed, the town's had this weird bad smell going around. It's not too bad right now, though. Yet.
That's the end of the story. I really like that story.
What a fun one.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
enjoyed that.
I kind of thought that was the same thing. It kind of had like a quirky fucking flies. It had like kind of a funny start. I really want to see that story like into like a fucking manga or like a comic or something. That like it gave me just all the visuals and stuff. My mind was just transported to those black and white images. I just think that's so fun.
Mm-hmm. I think the final line from the nurse is kind of implying that might have been hell. You know?
Yeah,
like
I think
the
it's supposed to be
stench of
hell
rising
opening up. Yeah,
and the souls down there that were begging for the light and stuff like that. I think that's the idea. Which
stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's a cool idea. Like all the souls down there, and like hell isn't fire and brimstone; it's more rot and decay. You know. And I think at first I was going to say I don't like the idea of kind of explaining it, but it doesn't really explain it. It's just like an old lady saying something and maybe you could apply it. So I think it's fine enough. I thought that was great. I love the idea of Percy digging into his own face. I love that it's like a cavern under the school. And I love that there's these like kind of troglodyte people down there in it or whatever. That was a ton of fun. I really like that.
Really, that's fun. Approach to of just like the fucking an earthquake opens something or like a fissure or something that gets released through a natural disaster and it like is the basically the unlocking or awakening of something is pretty fun.
I also really like just the little details that added so much to it, like going to Percy's trailer and it's full of all the air fresheners and the dead cat. And then I like him building the homemade hazmat suit to go there in the description of the GoPro and the wire and all that. All these little details that make the world feel very full and thought out and stuff. That was a great story. I enjoyed that a lot.
Him picking
also,
his
like
nose was awesome.
the little stuff, like at the beginning where it's like, oh, the school has a lot of roaches because it's old. But then near the end, it's like, man, there's a lot of them. Like they've been kind of brewing from the rot that's been under the school a long time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All in all, that was awesome. Flesh Fries, great job. I really enjoyed that. Does Flesh Fries have more stories?
Also, two fun, like just disgusting ones. I hope Golden House is also kind of disgusting a little bit too, if I'm being honest.
Honestly, that may have been why Harry put them together, knowing Harry.
Oh, sure.
I'm not seeing... They post on Reddit a lot. I'm not seeing another Tales from the Creeps one, but... Flesh Fries, write more stuff. Both of the authors we've covered so far write more stuff. Those
well, do
great.
you want to end on the Golden House?
So we have one more story we're going to do today. This is from purchase number 9564. And I'm trying to see, they post in a lot of different horror spaces. They've posted to the Cryptic Compendium and the Midnight Archives and Stay Awake. So they're posting a lot of this stuff across different Reddits, and one of them is Tales from the Creeps. And it looks like they have a few stories in Tales from the Creeps. They at least have this one and another one called Complex Hollow Space. But for this one we're reading is called Golden House, and it's tagged as Cosmic Horror Lovecraftian. Which, Hunter, that's all your buzzwords.
Hey, get it inside me. Let me devour. Let me cherish. Let me feast.
Those are all fine words to say, I guess. That was kind of socially acceptable. So with that, Hunter, are you ready to end today's episode with the Golden House?
Oh, I'm ready.
Let us begin. I remember years ago when they took everyone's earrings, all the rings, everything golden. I remember the mold of the mask they had beat out, ugly and asymmetrical. A wide, malformed, serene smile below two wide, misshapen golden eyes, the wire frame halo with names lovingly, carefully etched out into each of the 12 rays that blossom from the head like a flower. I remember the frail, browned corpse of the vessel, the old woman who would feed me juice while she cradled me in her skinny, bony arms, the old crone even my dad was afraid of. I remember standing in line with the other kids as our parents oohed and awed at us, taking photos as we all held the 15-foot-long wooden prod in our tiny hands, as though presenting it to the camera, the boys trying to lift it higher than the girls. We couldn't have been older than 11 then. 9 years passed so quickly. I can't feel anything but fevered heat as I'm carried outside of the small ceremonial barn into the field, run off from the flood that buried our homes decades earlier. A few young trees provided momentary staccato shade as we pass under them. My mind faintly recognized that means it's midday, holy hour. My brothers adjust the grip on the stretcher right before I hear Pastor murmur a quiet order. The procession stops. We've arrived. So our narrator is on the stretcher then, right?
I
Or like he's being carried? I think, yeah. As they set me down and delicately weave ropes around my shoulders and chest, my brother, little Ollie, catches my stare and quickly looks away, his blonde hair hiding his eyes as he helps Pastor take the long, heavy prod out of its sewn bag, carried by the choir kids. I hear the heavy, echoing sound of wood as they pull away the heavy wooden circle that bars entry to the Golden House.
My girl.
My father whispers to me, fervent tears in his eyes as his lips brush my forehead.
To have God down here waiting for you.
Gently shakes my shoulder.
Oh, you're so lucky, my baby girl.
I can't move, can't feel anything except the heat that is slowly eating into my skin. I stare unabashedly up at the sun. They lower me down the square brick hole, the ground framed by packed, muddy peat and earth. They gave me a glass of pale lemonade earlier. I knew what was in it when I drank it. Staring at the cup, at the condensation running down the scaled glass, watching small, twisting floaters dance in a slow circle near the top as the ice melted in the summer heat. I'm lowered, motionless, down the chimney. My head lolls back, scraping against the ancient brick. I can't turn my head away, so I watch the faces of the men, my old neighbors, watching my descent. One looks away, the other, my old teacher, smiles encouragingly at me. Behind them, I see the sun is split into two smaller orbs. The ropes dig into the old brick at the top, flaking tiny stone fragments to dust my face, tapping lightly on my lips, cheeks. One small fragment falls in my eye and lays there, stuck to my eye, moving with my pupils. I try to focus on it. Cheek twitches, but the best I can do is make a low moaning noise in my throat. The ropes dig into me too. I can't feel pain. It makes this much easier. This is an interesting perspective, like a child being offered, you know, undergoing some ritual.
It's also very beautifully written so far.
Yeah. Yeah, very well written. My feet finally touch the bottom of the fireplace, sliding out from under me as I come to a rest at the bottom. The ropes go slack, then drop, slapping my back at the top of my head. There's a moment in the pale sunlight that I know my father is leaning over the hole up there, taking one last look at the top of his daughter's head. Then I hear shuffling, metal scraping far above me, and I know they're letting the prod down. I can't see it, My forehead now rests heavily against the blackened brick, my upper half still inside the chimney while my waist and legs rest just out of the fireplace. Despite the rope and all coursing through me, my heartbeat quickens and I feel a steadily rising, drowning sense of panic taking hold of my limp body as I feel the metal prongs of the prod align with my shoulders, slowly pushing my body down and out of the chimney itself, the rest of the way out through the tall mouth of the fireplace. My eyes adjust, staring into the blackness. The dim, sallow light from the chimney does very little to illuminate the ancient room I'm in. I can just barely make out the filmy surface of a mirror glinting at me in the corner, stained with a decade of dirt and dust, rotted colonial furniture scattered around the room, dried runnels of mud seeping from cracks in the walls. I feel coarse wooden floorboards under me, damp and decayed. Fly bumps against my forehead, near my eye. There's a long silence. I'm unable to lift my head up to gaze up the chimney at the world above, the one with my family and friends in it. Stare at the darkness around me instead. I hear my father say something from far above, but I can't hear it. It's probably meant to be a goodbye, but I couldn't have responded even if I wanted to. A slow, dirty rumbling sound echoes down the brick hole, and the lid goes back over the mouth of the chimney, sealing me into near complete darkness. I want to cry so badly. Although my chest shakes softly, my tear ducts won't respond to me. A fly alights on my nose. And another. I squeeze my eyes shut. I can hear a low roar, a disjointed buzzing chorus all around me begin to start up. The world is drowned out by them. Thousands, millions of flies buzzing, woken up, careening madly into each other and me, peppering my face, loud beating of insect wings in my ears, sharp and curious, tickling my arms, crawling down my shirt. Keep my mouth closed with some effort, even as the little insects try to push past my lips and a lump forms in my throat. I'm sweating. The flies can't get enough. My tongue feels swollen. I slowly try to move, to regain control over my body. My arms slowly slide and fold across my chest as I breathe hard through my nose. My legs sluggishly curl inward like a dying cockroach, and I lean forward through the cloud of flies, struggling to move. There's a small rubbing texture against my calves and feet. Open my eyes to see that the gnarled wood of the floorboards is slowly, near imperceptibly moving, shifting under me. Gnarled bumps and knots turning over like thousands of tiny worms moving under skin. I stare hazily through the cloud of flies as the wood writhes and curls, even as the boards themselves retain their shape. I breathe heavily through my nose, trying not to hyperventilate. I'm drugged. This is a hallucination. And I witnessed many more as hours began to pass by. Slowly, like dim yellow sparks, the flies begin to glow, softening, shifting into little fireflies that light up the room in their dizzying, spiraling dance. They alight on my hands when I reach out to them, tickling, whispering little things. Little gold-feathered antennae sprout from their heads like moths, probing my fingers, sweeping along them like loving fingers. I breathe quietly, petrified by fear and curiosity. More light on my legs, my shoulders. More still crawl down the front of my shirt and up my legs. Small little wings beat against my face. I'm covered in them. I do not react when the little individual feathers of their long antennas slip into the pores of my skin. I hold still, obedient. Impossibly small sensitive hairs spread inside my sweat glands, filling them with a tickling sensation before burrowing deeper. The flies, moths, whatever they are, begin to burrow inside the enlarged pores, seeking warmth. It feels like being pinched from the inside. Heat blossoms all along my skin. I look down at my arm, and a thrill swells through me when I see the blue veins of my arm turning a muted yellow. Watching a soft, insistent hair-like tendrils begin to push their way through my veins, traveling with my bloodstream, pulsing, replacing my circulation with their own. I feel lightheaded, and when I try to move my arms, I can't. The thin, web-like tendrils coil around my muscles under my skin, filling my veins, capillaries, and tightening. I wonder absent-mindedly if they've reached my heart yet. I can hear low, muted, crumbling sounds, not from the room, but from inside me. Little cracks of friction as the tendrils under my skin bind me tighter. Sensitive skin around my groin reacts to the growing pressure. Thin gold alien veins under my skin snap tight around my muscles, and I fall over onto my side, my leg jerking slightly, and I groan. Heat flushes across my face. I blink, but only one eyelid does. I'm trembling very slightly from the cacophony of sensations overwhelming me. My thighs are clenched together as pressure wraps even tighter around me, pressing and pulling all at once. I bite down on my lip and taste warm iron on my tongue. I can't even see the insects anymore, just the pencil-sized holes they've left in me, devoid of blood. My lightheadedness grows. I suck in air, but it's not enough. Something presses at the back of my eyes. Abruptly, bile fills my throat and mouth, and I vomit, spattering dark liquid on the writhing floor that seems to twitch and dance under it. I gag, shivering as pulsing sensations rack my body in waves, wringing out everything in my stomach, and slowly, things start to change. My hands fly upwards to my face, and it dawns on me that I've regained control over my limbs. Every movement sends flashes of pain through my body, and I moan, shaky and low, as I slowly crawl forwards out of the long dead fireplace. I catch a glimpse of my hands, dotted with holes, and want to scream, but I can't, my throat clicking uselessly. I turn my head away from the stained mirror, unwilling to look as I crawl to the center of the room. Something isn't right, and I realize it with a flash of fear. My eyes dart over to the window. Shattered panes caked in mud, packed in by a wall of fossilized peat. The room was pitch black when they lowered me down here. I shouldn't be able to see. My lips part and I feel a pair of small, insectile legs scrape against the inside of my cheek. I'm in too much pain to care. Slowly, hesitantly, I rise up on my hands and knees, not strong enough to stand. I see something that wasn't there before. A multicolored door. The sagging wooden wall at the other end of the room. I get closer, catch my breath as I begin to pick out details. A large, colorful mural is painted on it. Locusts standing on pale, flesh-colored orbs, antennae raised to two golden suns, one balanced on the other. Crudely painted figures in yellow, frozen in a dance below the two locusts, holding sticks with bells on the end. There's more. But the entire lower half of the door is rotted away, disintegrated into nothing. And it's through this gaping hole that I can see nothing but darkness and dust motes floating through the air. I should be choking on dust, but I'm not. I can feel an intense, subtle vibration in my body, in my stomach and under my tongue. I slowly crawl up to the hole and through it, passing under the remains of the door. I crawl through the door, rest in the center of the room. I look up and see her. Resplendent, gold-draped silk along all 6 moving arms. Her bare chest, wrinkled with age and decay, doesn't move at all. Her skin is iridescent, countless hard reflective ridges running along her forearms and fingers, poking out in little sawtooth waves. Her face is obscured by a crude gold mask, one that seems so familiar. The wide, open-mouthed smile beaten into it greets me, and I stare up at 2 wide, dried-out eyes that I'm not even sure see me. I'm frozen by fear and by awe. I feel rather than hear her speak. Vibration runs along the floor into every pore of my being. The feeling of being closer fills my mind. I obey and crawl up to the 4 limp, still legs that protrude from under her torn dress, huddling there. Feeling of satisfaction fills my head, and I dare glance up at her. Her head is lowered, staring directly back at me, like it had always been there. My eyes search the mask, and I see the large wire halo welded to the back, supporting the golden rays with names etched onto them protruding from behind her head. I breathe, trying to speak, but am unable to, emitting a hoarse whisper instead. The dry, wide eyes of God look back down at me through the mask, glitter of something akin to intelligence in them. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, her arms move, while the urge to remain still floods my head. I obey, drooping my head as she gathers me up, arms and legs curling around me, lifting me up. I feel tired, overcome with a sense of satisfaction and contentment. I feel like a kid again, back home in my father's lap in the hanging chair on our front porch as we watched my brothers play in the street. The memory takes hold, filling my mind with the feeling of the sun on my skin, the hot smell of pavement and dirt, cold lemonade. I suck gently at the straw as I watch my brothers, listening to the distant shouts and laughs, shushing of the trees as they cast a staccato shade over the family car. I want to fall asleep, but watching a movie later tonight, and I don't want to miss it. I try to take the straw out of my mouth, but find that I can't. I frown, puzzled, try again, but the straw stays wedged between my tongue and the roof of my mouth. I try to pull at it, but my arms won't move, frozen in place. I begin to panic and the straw grows thicker, lemonade seeping out of it, gushing down my throat, no longer tasting sweet. I blink and suddenly I'm awake, staring into the dead eyes of God. Her face split open as a long, thick black proboscis pushes the mask upward and slides even deeper into my mouth, pushing against the back of my throat. I try to scream, but I can't. My vocal cords have long been eaten away. Her entire face is burrowed clean through with holes, and I can see flittling legs, antennae, and small insects crawling around inside each. The proboscis pushes deeper, intubating me, and I feel something sour and heavy seep out inside my throat. I gag and bite down as hard as I can, but the dark, shiny shell of the insectile tube doesn't budge. It hits me that she must have taken the memory away on purpose. She wants me to be present for this. She holds me still as I thrash in her arms, and as I choke, I swear I can see amusement in her wide, hungry eyes. After what feels like hours, I'm exhausted. I'm fitted to her, held to her chest as she feeds me, molds me. The proboscis in my stomach and pledging my throat is not invasive anymore. It is now a necessary part of my anatomy, an organ I would die without, one of many that coil around and push into the holes dug into my skin. It was painful, excruciatingly so. Not anymore. Her limbs remain locked around my body possessively, and as I stay there, held and gestated in the dark, I come to understand. My mind is no longer just my own. I share it with her now, and I see everything there is to see. I see my town through a million yellow-hued eyes. I see my brothers crying in their rooms. I see Pastor talking to some tourist. I know the goings-ons of every animal, see the fox dens and the little whispered thoughts of the kits inside them, the urges of every insect crawling underground, hiding on oily scalps. I can taste every substance on my buried tongue. I focus in on one room, feel a surge of pleasure as I see Father worshiping us, bound together in the golden house. And I feel now the want, the hunger for all of them. I'm becoming something else. And if I could feel happiness, then I would be the happiest girl in town.
What a great last line. Holy shit. Woo.
Man,
I was just kind of letting you roll with it. I love these stories when it's basically somebody encountering some kind of like, Lovecraftian god or something like that. It reminds me of is the story I Talk to God? Is that the one where like they have the ritual where they have to sleep with the moth? Is that what that one was?
I think it's I think the title of that story was something like we only got married at a certain age or something like that. Yeah. My dad didn't let us talk to girls. That's it.
That's what it was. I feel it have a kinship to that one. Not just because it's just a ceremony almost, but also just from the perspective of this like child having to go through with some kind of ritual. And then I love the kind of bug-like quality that this god has and stuff, but it's fun. It says so much and it's so clear in the imagery, yet there's still so much like mystery to be had still, which is a lot of fun. Just very beautifully written too. I mean, just like a very well thought out, very well crafted story.
I think I think what this story is to me is like there's a vessel that these bugs possess, you know, and once the vessel becomes too old and too hollowed, it transfers. And I think we're witnessing a transferring. So the people of the town, or at least like the pastor in the church, think of it as God, but it's really just like a monster beneath the earth that lives in this golden house. That's like, it is both it's like the entity itself is the horde of insects, right? That burrow into people and possess them. And every now and then it needs a new host. So this is a new host being passed off. But the people think of it as God. And it's like divinity being passed on. Hence why at the end, the girl gets effectively the power of being like seeing the eyes of every creature. And also her father begins to worship her because now she is God. Yeah. And then when her time is done, a new offering will be passed down. I really like the idea of having this like ancient entity that people worship, and we don't get all the lore. It's not like, oh, well, a guy comes into a small community and he sees the people worshiping this and he figures out it's a monster. We just see the effect of someone being used in the ritual, right? And we can kind of build out the pieces from there. And it's so well worded. Midway through, I was almost afraid it was AI by like, just like the language was so well done, but the sentence structure changes enough and there's enough of the same descriptors used over and over. I don't think so. Like this is just a good writer who can like, you know, have some clever wording and choices. And I really loved the description of how like the bugs dig into them. And then for the rest of the story, you can feel, as she describes it, the bugs moving inside of her. And then at the end, like what was at first painful, the proboscis passing into her is no longer painful because now she is that creature. She's suckling at the mother one day to become the mother. This like human bug hybrid that's filled with bugs, almost like a termite queen of sorts in this house. And they call it the golden house, and the mask is made of gold. And there's this part of the beginning where they collect all the earrings, they collect everything golden to kind of build shrines for this thing. And it could just be a creature that requires to be fed, and they keep feeding it, but they think of it as a god because it's something beyond their understanding. That's really cool.
You know, it's really cool that there's so many fucking talented writers in this subreddit, man. So many of these people are just doing so well. It's the level of quality of what's on the subreddit right now is just really fucking cool to see. So I don't know. It's very cool and inspiring. I don't know. Just a lot of fun. But guys, that's our episode today. We appreciate you for hanging out, and thank you so much for taking time to listen to this and hear some of the fan stories as well. It's always fun diving into the Tales from the Creep subreddit. And if you yourself want to write something, please write it. Let our fans, you know, let the community read it and fucking help you with it or do whatever. Like, don't be afraid to just jump in and actually write something. You know, that's kind of the moral of the story of today's episode is, these are all levels, and these are all people that are just wanting to write some stuff and people that like want to read fun stuff too. So thank you guys so much for wanting to even submit those stories. But until next time, guys, be sure to check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the places we do. And if you want some extra goodies, be sure to go to Patreon. We got some more stories there for you that are exclusive to Patreon. But until next time, guys, we will see you in the next one. Stay creeped.
See you in the next one. Stay creeped. All three authors we read today were fantastic. Please go follow them. We'll have them linked below. And most importantly, you know, all these stories are great. I've really enjoyed them, but I feel like this is a golden opportunity to kill Hunter in a story, and I haven't seen that yet. So we need to get those numbers up. Just saying. Thanks all you guys for being so cool and for building this community. And please keep writing. Thank you for it. And once again, kill Hunter. Bye.